Good morning, everyone. We're just going to give it one more minute as we still have some folks dialing in.
Yeah, hello everyone, Julie, Delia.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you again.
Good to see you.
See you.
Yeah.
Okay, my dinging is slowed. Welcome everyone to our second Young Leaders for Trails World Forum. And I'm Julie Judkins. I'm with the World Trails Network Knowledge Task Team. And I'm here with my co-chair, Delia Clark, who's going to kick us off with why we're here today and what we're going to expect from today's gathering.
Thank you so much, Julie, and thank you everybody for being here. And it's really fun to see people coming from all over the place, including my UPG friends. We are here today to talk about how youth can contribute to stewardship of trails. That's basically the bottom line. Youth take up about five or basically a 20th, a fifth of the global population, and are going to be essential future custodians and stewards of the planet. And trails are such a wonderful part of the planet. They connect communities, they have social and ecological implications, and they give us all health. So putting together youth and putting together trails results in something that we think can make a really big difference. We are hoping to build a youth group that can internationally function as stewards of our planet's trails. And we're here to talk today about what that can look like, what the opportunities are for you personally, what the opportunities are for the World Trails Network, and how we can work together to make it happen. So thanks a lot for being here.
Oh, really quickly, we thought we would get to know where everyone is calling in from. And I love using this fun tool called a Padlet. So I'm going to share my screen and ask everyone to join me in just a minute, but I'll show you how to do it. So here's our map, and there's a pink button right here that you click to add the post. And so I am going to put my name and where I am dialing in from, and then it'll pop up. And once you hit enter, then you can add anything else about yourself that you want to here. You can add a picture or a link to your organization. I'd really love to know if you have a favorite trail in your community or in your country, and you could write that. And then you hit publish. Here, I'll show you all of the different options. I work with the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, so I'm putting Appalachian Trail on mine, and then I'll hit publish, and you'll be able to see the pin from everyone who puts in a post. So there, it scrolled you into Asheville, North Carolina, where I'm dialing in from today. All right, what I'm going to do next is to put the chat link in. Put the link into the chat, and feel free to come off of mute if you have any questions about that, or if you have trouble accessing the Padlet. But we'll just give it a couple of minutes for you all to add your name and where you're dialing in from, and your favorite trail if you want to. Feel free to come off of mute if you have any problems with that.
Do we have to first sign in or sign up in order to use TV, or is there?
It shouldn't ask you to sign in. Did it ask you to sign in?
Yeah, maybe I got it wrong. Let me try again.
Hello, welcome. If you're just dialing in, I'm putting a link in the chat and we're asking folks to go to this link. It's a Padlet and you'll see a pink plus button to add your name and where you're dialing in from today. And I'll share my screen one more time so you can see what I'm seeing with all these beautiful dots from all over the world where you are all calling in from to talk about trails. So awesome. I love this tool. Well, as you all continue to write about your trail and your community and where you're from, we're going to talk about, give you a chance to meet with each other really briefly. We just thought we'd give a couple minutes to do some breakout groups so that you all can talk with amongst yourselves and get to know each other just a little bit. And I had a prompt, a funny little prompt that oh, thanks for your question, Nat. I'll show you that. So here's my pin and you can come up here to the edit post. And once you're in here, you can add your photos and hit update.
We all want to keep playing.
Okay. So I'm gonna just stop sharing for a second. And I thought a fun question in your breakout groups would be to share about your map and where you're calling in from, as well as I'm gonna put it in the chat. What season is it based on your current location? And what does it smell like? I wanted to kind of dive into the senses because that's what happens when you're out on the trail. All right, I'm just going to show one more time because I see one more question about how to add in the name and location. The Padlet link, putting that back in the chat. Uh-oh. Share my screen. And you're going to hit this pink plus button where it says add post. You're going to add your name. And then you'll add right afterwards, you add your community and where you're dialing in from. I'm dialing in from Asheville, North Carolina. And then these different prompts will pop up with either uploading a picture or a link or a number of other things if you hit the 3 dots. And so I added in Appalachian Trail as being the trail organization that I work with and a trail that I very much love. All right, so now I'm gonna break us into small groups to get to know each other a little bit. The edit button is in the top right-hand corner of the post that you would have put.
So Julie, our prompt is your name, where you're calling in from, and what it smells like.
Yes.
Where you are now? Okay.
Okay. Everyone hold on to your hats. We're going into breakout rooms. We'll just give like 2 or 3 minutes to give you all a chance to get to know each other. Is it working? Okay.
I'm so sorry. I feel like I really bumbled that welcome. I just hadn't had a minute to think about it yet. My coffee hadn't kicked in, so sorry about that.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for taking the time. It's been really beautiful looking at all of the dots on the map and reading what you all wrote there. So I hope your breakout rooms, getting to know one another, was also really rich. So I'm gonna let Dalio introduce himself as our chair of the World Trails Network and discuss, how you can get involved on task teams and share a little bit about the very exciting conference that's going to be happening in Greece in September. Dalio.
Great, guys. Well, hello to everyone. Maybe a little reminder to mute your microphone if you've got some background noise going on there. That will help us. So briefly, this initiative is being driven by the Trails and Knowledge task team of the World Trails Network. And our task teams consist of, at the moment, I think we've got about 7 of them. These are gatherings of professionals working in trails, enthusiasts working in trails, and essentially all volunteer-driven collectives. One could see these task teams also as working groups or specialist groups that are convened under certain themes. So this one is Trails and Knowledge. We have other task teams on Trails and Tourism, or Trails and Nature, or Trails and Media, Trails and Cities, Trails and, I can't even remember all of them, Trails and Sustainability, to give you a rough idea. And we have a number of new trail task teams coming on stream as we move towards our conference, which is taking place in Greece between the 26th and 30th of September this year. Julie just put a link in the chat for us on the Trail Task team, so you can see a little bit more there about them. One of the opportunities we have with this particular group that we are convening is the chance to participate in these task teams and to be directly involved in some of the projects, campaigns, or initiatives that the task teams are championing. Some of the examples of some of the task team products might be the International Friendship Trails program that we run. The World Trails Film Festival is another project that runs through a task team. The Green Flag Trails program, which is about trail assessments and accreditation, that is also run through one of our task teams, in this case, the Trails and Tourism task team. And we also have projects that the Trails and Sustainability task team are hoping to launch later this year at the conference itself. So that gives you a wide or a brief idea of some of the wide scope that the task teams engage in. As far as the conference goes, that is, I cannot tell you how excited I am about this conference this year for multiple reasons. We are slowly pulling the program together. We have some very exciting events taking place during the conference itself and leading up to the conference. Leading up to the conference, we have 3 trail journeys. This is an opportunity for trail attendees to get to know the trails of Greece and to get to know and walk with other trail experts, professionals, enthusiasts, champions from other countries, and to learn from them while walking. So it's an amazing way to have, essentially we have a pre-conference before the main conference where we actually have the conference while on our feet while actually walking. And then the actual conference itself is, a traditional conference in speaking venues and places like that. I see Julie shared our conference webpage with you. Please take a look at it. There's lots of information there. And the critical thing is, if you're hoping to take part, it doesn't mean you have to get to Greece. If budget is an issue or time constraints are an issue, you can take part in the conference by also attending in a hybrid version. And so either way, I recommend to anyone who wants to be part of this ongoing trails conversation, taking trails forward into the future, is to pre-register as an attendee. And if you want to give a presentation or be part of a panel or give a workshop, please submit a presentation proposal before the 13th of July. I think that's it in a nutshell. The last exciting thing about the conference is it ends on a high note with the premiere of the World Trails Film Festival that takes place on the last evening. And so if you make films, have films about your trail or have film stories about the work you're doing related to trails, so I consider submitting that to the film festival. And it doesn't matter what language your film is in. World Trails Network is a global organization, so any language is welcome. And we are particularly interested in diversity of cultures and storytelling when it comes to trails. I think, Julie, that's it in a nutshell from me.
Thank you. I thought, I see that we have a couple folks from other task teams on the line and didn't want to put anyone on the spot, but if you wanted to offer any information or invitation about your own task team, I'd just give a few moments for welcoming others to talk about that. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm very excited about launching a program for World Trails Network, World Trails Ambassadors. And I'd like to give you all a brief presentation about this World Trail Ambassador opportunity and really get your feedback on everything from what it's called to some of the benefits and criteria that we have for selection. Because I think that this could be just a very exciting way for us to really bring in a robust way, new people to the World Trails Network. So I'm going to share my screen again. And give you a brief summary of this opportunity with the World Trails Ambassadors. So this is an age range of, we're looking at 21 to 35-year-olds. I just have to, there we go. Some of the key goals for this program is bringing the next generation of trail leaders into the World Trails Network. We really want to do that in a reciprocal and empowering way to support communities and trails within your own countries and communities, and raising awareness of the World Trails Network as a way for you all and ambassadors to help bring issues of importance and awareness within the trail network and increase capacity to be able to do so. So you can connect with the international task teams. Those leaders are mentors from all over the world that are trail professionals, and getting to know them in a volunteer capacity and in a group of like-minded and motivated individuals to really help make changes in your communities. So this is a list of the benefits of why we would have an application and be really intentional around a selection of a group of ambassadors. You'd have the opportunity to take part in the World Trails Conference in Greece and coming together in person, representing your community and increasing visibility and bringing your own voice and the trails, whether it be a pilgrimage and a historic trail or a recreational trail, engaging with key stakeholders from around the world, and being a part of this inaugural group that would really help provide the innovation around its creation. The commitment that we would be looking for is what our current task teams have as their commitment, is a 2-year term. We hope to have monthly calls quarterly with the ambassador group, and then meeting with your own task team that the ambassador would be assigned to or select from themselves, whichever task team they have interest in. The kind of follow-up and the really exciting part to me is for the ambassador to create an action plan for their own community, whether that be creating a climate action plan or protection of a trail system or advocacy and policy. And then, of course, we were really excited about having everyone attend fully in the conference in Greece. The application in terms of selection, we have some criteria that'll help us really assure that we have a diverse group representing the entire world geographically. And within that age range, we want to have a selected amount of representation within it, and then gender identification as well. And then we have essays, so we will be looking for how folks are committing themselves to this approach and wanting to participate. So we want to see that commitment through the application. And the application does ask if there's scholarship needed for the conference to attend, but that's not part of the criteria and how the ambassadors will be awarded. And lastly, in terms of the criteria, we also are just really looking for creative expression and how the application is put together. So we're inviting pictures and podcasts and videos as a part of an added piece of the application. So today, after I've finished with this brief little presentation, we'll get your feedback on everything from calling it World Trails Ambassadors to some of these awards and what folks could maybe do within their action plans. We're gonna be launching this by the end of this month in April, and we'll be really promoting it out to get as many great applications as we can, and take the early summer months to vet and select the ambassadors, award them in July, and have a couple of calls with those selected as an orientation before coming together at the September conference. So as I mentioned, part of this is really some of the key benefit, I think, is connecting with these individual task teams. So we would be asking an ambassador to select and a task team to commit to. And of course, we need a lot of help. So if there are folks that are interested in helping, continue to promote this idea, vet applications, then we welcome your participation in that. Uh-oh, I seem to have gone back to the beginning. So I have, this is just a slide to describe some of the other initiatives and what they call youth. And we made our selection very intentionally around the 21 to 35-year-old. We're really thinking this as kind of young leaders, like getting started in the trails world maybe, or have a passion for the environment and their communities, but at the same time wanting to have the ability to travel and connect and do some of this work in a way that's making sure that we have, sorry.
And Julie, you have an interesting question in chat about that you can look at connections to local trails and communities. Who are you vetting based on employees, volunteers, enthusiasts, connectivity to local organizations and groups? Is that something people would need to have as they're coming in, or is it something they could build during the time they were on the committee, that kind of thing?
That is a fantastic question. And I think that this community and building those action plans would be a process so that you would be able to build that network. It's not a requirement for applying and for selection. So okay. So, I see another one in here. Can you describe the benefits to ambassadors to be involved and what's the value add for them? So I see, then this is just me, I'm sure, and part of the questions that we have for all of you is, what do you think the benefits are? Because I'm sure there are a lot of perspectives of the different ways to be involved. For me, as being a part of a task team and being able to connect with people from all over the world and learning what they're doing on their trails and having that network to connect to, it gives you a vast amount of resources, both with mentorship, friendship, and resources in terms of, you know, the specific thing that you might be interested in working on, whether that be construction of a trail or, you know, protection or advocacy or policy, and all of those things. We past team leaders and this network within the World Trails Network can point you to folks that have this skill set that that you would connect those interests and skills together. So yes, we do have some scholarship money for the ambassadors for the conference itself. The application period is, we hope to launch this by the end of the month. So the application would be open April 30th through probably the end of May. And yes, the application itself is absolutely free. Yes, great questions. So I had thought that we could break into groups to give feedback about this entire process, but we actually have a fairly small group, and I welcome everybody's input about preference of just staying in plenary and discussing and giving some feedback with everybody on the line, or if you have a preference for doing that in smaller groups. Maybe I'll share the questions that I would love to talk through. I'll put them in the chat. So first of all is the name, the program name, Appalachian Trail, or Appalachian Trail. See, I'm on autopilot with it. with it. We have a few thoughts around the name, World Trails Ambassadors, and having a tagline be for emerging leaders 21 through 35, World Trails Young Ambassadors, or World Trails Rising Ambassadors, as three possibilities. So that's the first question. So any thoughts? Maybe just give a thumbs up if you're feeling good about staying in this group instead of going through breakout groups. Okay, great. Got a couple thumbs up. Thanks, few. Great. All right. Well, I'm going to.
I think we could use thumbs to sort of poll people, unless I don't think we have a poll built, right? So we could use thumbs to poll people about the name choices. So
yes, perfect.
Okay, so everybody put your thumbs down. We're trying to figure out the right name. We have three choices. You're going to be picking one of them. Okay, so first choice, I'll just say them again. Think about which one you want, and you get to vote once with your thumb. First choice is World Trails Ambassadors for emerging leaders 21 to 35. That's like it. Okay, don't put your thumbs yet. Put it down, because you need to hear all three before you put up your thumbs. So Kirk, put your thumb down. Everybody thumbs down. Here we go. Choice number one is going to be World Trails Ambassadors for emerging leaders 21 to 35. Choice number two is going to be World Trails Young Ambassadors. And choice number three is World Trails Rising Ambassadors. Okay, so think what you want. I'll say them again, and you only get to vote once. So it's going to be World Trails Ambassadors for emerging leaders 21 to 35, World Trails Young Ambassadors, or World Trails Rising Ambassadors. Everybody know your vote? Okay, get ready. I'm going to say number one. Put your thumb up if you prefer World Trails Ambassadors for emerging leaders 21 to 35. Thumbs up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now put your those thumbs down.
I saw also that a couple people put in the chat. So to add two more to that vote.
Okay, so that's a 7. Nope, that's an 8, 9. Oh gosh, a lot of people are. You know what? Everyone's doing it in the chat. Let's switch the thumb thing and we'll just do it in the chat. So go ahead and put into the chat. This seems easier since half people have already done it. So just again, in the chat, you are putting 1 if you like World Trails Ambassadors for Emerging Leaders 21 to 35, 2 if you like World Trails Young Ambassadors, 3 if you like World Trails Rising Ambassadors. And we can count those up. And then maybe we can talk about some of the other, move on to another question while we add those up. Do you want me to add, Julie, while you lead the next question? Or do you want...
Sure.
Okay, so you're
Mostly
leading.
one.
Who's winning?
One.
1. Okay. Do we still have Galileo? People like mostly 1. 1. Okay. It seems... Here, I'll count while you lead the next question.
Okay. Maybe I'll just ask if you want to come off of mute and you have any comments that you want to make on the name. 1 is adequate one. Thank you, Vincent. Might be saying your name wrong.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just looking at the age brackets. Can you hear me?
Can you repeat your question
Yeah,
or your comment?
I'm just looking at the age bracket because most people in third world country like Africa here, most of us, we don't have the opportunity why raising up like that. So if the organization can help us, like change, let's say the age limit to like 21, from 21 to 40, I don't know if that would be possible.
Okay, so you're thinking you'd prefer to have the age bracket be farther on the older end side of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great feedback.
And I think your argument is because people don't have the opportunity when they're younger to move into leadership roles. So
Yeah,
they
you
need a
get
little
it
more
right.
time.
You get it right. Yeah.
How do other people feel about that question? Based on the country where you live? Riza, you look like you might have a thought.
I was thinking about the third number because rising is something that I've never heard before. It's something authentic about rising a new thing, because emerging leaders, it's something that I always heard that kind of program, even the politics, even the sustainability things, it's about emerging leaders. But why I choose the rising ambassador, because it's something more authentic, as how trail is as authentic as the culture of the state and nations. That's what I'm thinking.
Great.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one who chose.
Well, I really appreciate that, thinking about it in that way. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who else has a thought either about the name or the age? Those are both important questions. Christian, do you have a thought?
I put my thought regarding the age range, but regarding the name, I'm fine with number 1, but I like number 3 the most too.
You like rising also, and just so that we can say it out loud, your thought about the age is what? I know we've got a lot going on in the chat.
Oh, in my opinion, I think 35 is a good limit. In our context here, like over 35 is like really not considered youth anymore. So to me, 35 sounds like a very generous limit.
Okay, if other people want to weigh in on that, that would be great. Who else has a thought either about the name or the age? Ade, I'm wondering what thought you might have.
Yeah. Hello. I choose number one because emerging leaders 21 and 35 is sounds it's easy to understand and it sounds familiar also. And it's related with young people, not only 35. I mean that so it's the correct number 21 and 35.
Great, thanks. Why don't we hear from Zalia and then Vincent, and then I'll turn it back to you, Julie, for the other questions. Zalia.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I think for me the age it's okay. 35 it's okay because talking about 40, 40 it's way far. That even if you look at the definition of who a youth is, should be between the age of 18 to 30. So I think 35 it's okay. It's a bit fair.
Thanks. Vincent, what's your thought? Vincent? Okay, why don't we move on? Julie, did you want to talk in addition to
Hello.
this? Oh, here we go. Go ahead, Vincent.
Yes, on the issue of age, I prefer from 18 to 35. I think on that range, it will accumulate more youths from various continents. Until on the program choice, I'm choosing emerging leaders. This is because the choice of emerging leaders, it will have a more influence on the people than being just an ambassador.
Great, thank you very much. You guys can put your hands down, and I think, you know, to Adelo's earlier point, it might be that we need to provide support for young people in countries to participate earlier. So that would be a way to work around that. Julie, what question do we have time for now?
I would love any feedback on your thoughts of the best way to get the word out, organizations, people, platforms, which social media sites, and feel free to come off of mute. We'll capture them in our notes and also capture them through the chat. Christian, am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah, Christian.
Christian, thank you.
So I think I am part of a local organization here in Paraguay, but we are also the liaison for a global network. It's a global youth biodiversity network, GIBN.
Oh yeah.
And they have a worldwide network already installed with a very diverse group of youth. And I'm pretty sure that if we connect with them, and I can give you the email of the steering committee, they can help you get the word out to a lot of young people.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks. Mafumo.
Thank you very much. For me, I think we can mainly use social media platforms, as you mentioned, just focusing on the specific type of groups. Like, for example, I am a scout. I am part of the Scouts Association. And those who know Scouts, they can say almost all Scouts are hikers and they are trail enthusiasts. This just grows in us. So I think organizations like the Scouts Association, the Young Life International, the Toastmasters, and the likes, these are organizations of young people mainly who are into the outdoor, into trails, into nature, and are passionate about nature and exploring it. So I think they are also a very good reach on top of course, social media platforms. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think
Wonderful ideas.
Kulani, what are your thoughts about this?
Oh, okay. No, thanks. Thanks for giving me the opportunity, even though I didn't raise my hand. No, I was just listening to different views. Like, you look at South Africa, coming from South Africa, most of the communication network here is usually WhatsApp. So doing a WhatsApp link, which can be easily accessible and shared in the community, that would be great, because most of the people who even follow my work and everything, they actually look at my statuses because I posted my status. Even a small clip, which actually is like less than 30 seconds or less than a minute, does actually give off good information. You can just put it on Facebook post and just we share it. And then also Instagram, and also like WhatsApp is the best communication for my side of the world. And then also I don't know, like there is different networks. Like I work with different networks. It's always nice. I can just pop in a small clip or link to everything, like kind of like a small introduction. People will definitely go for it. But the other thing is like it's always a challenge trying to give people videos, long videos of information while they don't have data, because that's also one of the things which is a challenge this side of the world. But yeah, anything on social media platform, the best is WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not sure about it because like people tend to follow things which are funny this side of the world. If it's not funny, if it does not have good music on the background, if it has a local music or a trending song, it definitely gonna stick. But if not, it won't stick. It's just gonna be one of those videos which they will just skip. So
So
I'm not sure.
I hear you saying that we need to make a playlist of everybody's favorite songs
But like
to put it up there with.
yeah, definitely we may do that. But I see the head is actually from Cape Town, from around South Africa. So definitely something which is trending. It does actually give good information. So I don't mind sharing this information to the African Network, National Geographic, because I'm also a National Geographic explorer. So I wouldn't mind sharing it. If it's short and stuff like that, I would definitely share it with the network, and I can share that information that I have shared it.
Thank you.
I know, Julie, I think you're going to send out the information to everyone on the call today so they can spread it through their networks as well, right?
Yes.
Great.
I have just one last, Vincent, yes. And then I'll put one last question in here for our last few minutes for everybody to think about.
Vincent, did you have a thought you wanted to share?
Yes, hello. I'm just adding some point on what my fellows have talked. And the best way to promote this program is through social media. We have technology nowadays, and many young people are accessing technology through WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram. So if we can be provided with the program of this great idea, we can share to our social media accounts so that the young people can easily access it. And to add on that, I'm also a young environmental scientist. I've just graduated from university, and my friends are looking for these great opportunities. So I'll be great to share with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to hear that you all are interested in giving this feedback and sharing it out with your own networks. I'm a part of this that I'm very excited about is this opportunity to create an action plan to have others within the task teams help create that with the ambassador. Do you all want to spend a few minutes just thinking on what kinds of projects might be really interesting for those action plans to work on?
So is your question, Julie, what kinds of things people might want to do as potential action plans?
Yes, exactly.
Kulani, looks like you have a thought.
Yeah, I just want to ask, does this only apply to the ambassador or what the ambassador will do? I just want to get that clarity.
Yes, great question. So it's what it applies to the ambassador, and it is a way for them to have a project that they would do in their community or country, and have the support of the task team and World Trails Network in making it viable, and having the capacity to. It's like having an advisor, really.
Okay. Yeah.
That clarify your question?
Yeah, thanks. Let me just say, if no one already gonna take the stage at this point, from my side, I think there is only one aspect which I believe trails is actually having an impact in the conservation side. For my side, I use it as trying to reconnect communities with wildlife so that they can learn to appreciate it. So that's also something which I can always try to work around it. How do you deal with it, or your target audience and stuff like that? But usually it's someone from school or just youth which are out there and they got nothing to do and they just want to explore nature. They just want to learn something about nature. That's kind of like what I'm focusing on, how to connect with nature rather than just seeing the bad stuff. Like you talk about pollution, you talk about all of these things. But first, from my side, is first, let's go back to someone going to the field, understanding nature, knowing what's happening in the ecosystem. That's kind of like my kind of
yeah. Thanks,
project.
Kalani. And Nat is building on what you're saying in the chat. We only have a couple more minutes, so let's hear from Kate and then Etienne. Kate?
Oh yeah, I think a question that I have, so even before, or maybe like this would determine what an ambassador could accomplish in their local community with an action plan, would be kind of identifying, what the ambassador's interests are. So whether they're really invested in climate change activism, or if they're really invested in environmental education, or invested specifically, Kalani, I'm interested in hearing about your work connecting folks with wildlife. That sounds really cool. But personally, my background is just trail construction and like sustainable trail building and stewardship. So I guess identifying folks' interest, what they want to change, and then connecting them with someone who is an expert in that realm would shape the action plan. So maybe it's individualized to each person. Maybe there's a set list of, here are the contacts we can put you in touch with who can help you with your action plan.
Great,
but
thanks.
Yeah.
Great, thanks a lot. How about for you, Etienne?
I think for me, it's just a bit of a point of clarity around the specific project or the action plan. Would it be something that you are currently working on, or would this be in addition? Because I'm speaking from a perspective of wanting to apply for this ambassadorship, this program. So I would use, in my application, I would explain what I'm already doing in my communities and the community projects that my NGOs are busy with regards to trails. So would the action plan be building on that, or would it have to be something something new?
Yeah, I'm a big believer. Yeah, I'm a big believer of leveraging and amplifying work that's already going on. I'm not doing something new just for it being new's sake. So I think that it absolutely should work to amplify the great work that's already happening on the ground. And that what the World Trails Network brings is the community and the capacity to point to those skills experts that could assist. And raise awareness around it. Well, I can't thank you all enough for this amazing feedback. I think this is going to be a fantastic program. And Galio, if you want to close us out with any final thoughts. We really appreciate you all, and we'll be in touch.
Well, thank you, Julie, for convening this. And I'm absolutely thrilled by the diversity of people we've got from all parts of the world. I love that map in the beginning that showed us where we're all coming from. I would love to know from everyone here, yes, we shared like, which trails are our local trails, but I would love to know or get a list, like we've got chaps from Zimbabwe, or Nigeria, from Malaysia. Do you guys have a resource or a link that you could share with Julia and Delia or us of the trails in your area or trail organizations that you think the World Trails Network should be in touch with and working with? That would be really helpful. But to sum up here, I'm thrilled to see a number of faces that are familiar to me as well, which has taken me by surprise, and I'm excited about that. And I think don't underestimate the importance of a program like this that we're bringing together for trails. And as Delia said at the beginning, this is about building stewardship with the next generation of trail leaders. And it's essential that we connect both across generations, but also that we upskill ourselves with input and knowledge from experts, not only in our own region, but also in distant lands. And I can attest that coming together in a global forum like we've created with the World Trails Network is immensely inspiring, it's immensely motivating, and you end up making friendships and connections with people you would never otherwise connect with. And this enriches our own lives, but also hopefully enriches those places where we recreate on trails and what we give and bring to trails in our own capacity. So I'm excited about all of you being on this call. I hope all of you do join or sign up as ambassadors in some form and remain in contact with the World Trails Network and with this particular team led by Delia and Julia. So thank you.
Thank you all. Have such a beautiful day.
Thank you so much, everybody. So great to see you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This was fun. Yes.
Happy to see you all people.
Bye-bye
Really
from
looking forward to the
Indonesia.
next one.
Bye.
Greetings from Kenya.
You all should come to Zimbabwe and try the Fumba Trail. 6-day trail, 75 kilometers. You will definitely enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I can see some people don't want to leave. It was not fun.
It's true. I think when there's such a good feeling in the room, people want to stay together. Thank you. So nice to meet everybody. We'll do it again.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye. It's nice to be here.
Sarah, UNICEF.
Hi, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I think P just joined us.